The Knicks, they bounced back on Saturday night with a win in Memphis to end the two-game road trip. They improved to 6-1 since the OG Anunoby trade. So let's talk some Knicks hoops. We're going to do it with the great writer from the Knicks Wall. That would be Candace Pedraza, who joins me now. Candace, what's going on?
Not much. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Always good to talk some Knicks hoops with you. And Candace, Saturday's win in Memphis, it was not a pretty one against a banged-up Memphis team that didn't have many of their top players. What were your major takeaways from the Knicks being able to pull out this win against the Grizzlies?
Well, first of all, obviously the biggest problem was turnovers. For the Knicks, they had 22 to the Grizzlies 12. So that's always going to dig you into a hole that's very difficult to get out of. But they managed to, due to two players specifically, I think, Deuce McBride and Isaiah Hartenstein. Those two were the keys to the game in a game where they shouldn't have been. The Grizzlies were so undermanned. I was very confused as to how they were even able to play a game. I didn't think they even had enough players, whereas the Knicks were only missing Jalen Brunson. So if this is the team that really thinks that they can make a deep playoff run and they are contenders, they should have been able to get themselves going and be able to put away this super shorthanded Grizzlies team. And they weren't. It was really difficult, but they managed to do it. McBride, obviously, with his career-high 19 points. Isaiah Hartenstein tying his career highs with boards again with 20. Both of those two were visions, and especially also Malachi Flynn was a really random bright spot in that game. Possibly they might have found some guard depth that they didn't know they had. So, you know, they managed to come out of it, but at the same time, it was a little bit concerning and really similar to that Dallas game where they obviously were not coming out with the same energy that the other team was.
Yeah, you saw the energy lacking a bit there, but they were able to pull out the win. And in the NBA, a win is a win. You mentioned this, Candace, no Jalen Brunson on Saturday. Miles McBride, he did get the start. You talked about the career-high 19 points. What did you make of his performance against Memphis, and are you concerned about how the team's offense looks when Brunson isn't playing or just not on the floor?
Yeah, I think that the Knicks are probably concerned with it. Obviously, there's been plenty of reports that have said that they've been poking around on the market for a backup guard to be able to provide those minutes that Brunson isn't able to serve. And we saw that yesterday where it's obvious he's not made of titanium. He's not going to be impenetrable and someone that is going to be able to play all 82 games. And that's fine, especially with the minutes that head coach Tom Thibodeau tends to have his players playing. It's very impossible to expect him to be healthy for an entire season. So McBride specifically, you know, this performance or these performances from him aren't revelations, or not they're not revelations, but they shouldn't be surprising to any Knicks fans that have been a fan of the guard since he got drafted by the team. Even in the G League, he was shooting around 42% from three-point range, and that was on 7 attempts per game. So he is a really good scorer and definitely a really good backup point guard option for them. But they should try to find somebody who's less about scoring and more about distributing the ball and getting that second unit more cohesive. And that's something that they definitely lost when trading away Emmanuel quickly.
Yeah, that's something I'm definitely keeping my eye on, and I know a lot of Knicks fans are as they approach the trade deadline. Can they get another ball handler, somebody that can run the offense with that second unit that can also give them a little bit of a scoring punch? We'll see if that can happen. All right, Ace, the Knicks, they're back at it on Monday, Martin Luther King Day game. They host the Magic. The Knicks, they've been good at home this season, 11-4 record. What are the keys to the Knickerbockers knocking off the Magic on Monday?
Well, the Magic are also going to be shorthanded. So that seems to be like a common theme with a lot of these recent Knicks games is that they've been entering games where they're definitely the favorite in, and then the other team is just coming out and punching them right in the mouth. So I think the biggest key for New York is just going to be coming out with a lot of energy. It's an afternoon game, I believe, tomorrow. They're playing at home. It's on a very special day. So I think that they will be able to come out with a lot more oomph than they have in the last couple of games, or at least I hope so. And I think another key is also going to be making sure Isaiah Hartenstein is helped. Especially he's going to have his hands full with Goga Bitadze, who was the center that was giving them a lot of issues in their last matchup. And so I think locking him up, managing to box him out, and really focusing on getting those defensive boards that have really been biting them will be huge for winning tomorrow. And, of course, containing Paolo Banchero. That's going to be a big one for them.
That will be a big one. We will see if they're able to do that at the Garden. That's a 3 o'clock tip-off there on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Knicks will take on the Magic. Jalen Brunson, at this moment of us recording this, listed as questionable for that game, so we'll see if he will give it a go. That is Candace Pedraza of the Knicks Wall. She does such a great job covering the Knicks. Candace, thank you for the time. Always good to see you and talk to you. We will talk soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Dexter.